Get off your phone. We're live.
Oh, sorry. I got a notification that Some Nobodies went live. I was checking out that. Yeah, that's crazy. Sure hey, everybody. Welcome to a weird new other episode of Twitching UpStream, which is an offshoot of Talking UpStream, where Some Nobodies, which is me, Zach Wiseman, and Dylan Terry, that guy over there.
Yes.
What we do is we try to create content so that we can sell ourselves, sell out, sell things, make some money by creating content that people want to watch or listen to or read. So that's pretty much the basis of what this show is. What we would like is if people would help us create this story. You know, if you got a suggestion, you got something, just shoot it at us. Dylan comes up with really cool stories. I come up with pretty good stories that are fine, but with participation and audience support, they turn out really, really cool. I say, like, once we started putting guests onto our show and having guests hang out on Talking UpStream, it made those stories real cool.
Makes it cool. Makes it more easier. It makes it easier too.
It definitely makes it easier because it's just somebody else talking for like a little bit. But before we get things started, obviously we got some news, we got some other stuff going on. But first, Dylan, how are you doing? It is December 23rd.
It is all day, December 23rd. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. How about you? Yeah. How you been?
No, I'm doing pretty good. You know, like back surgery still kicking in. That stuff's going awful, but whatever. But yeah, other than that, I'm doing good. Doing good. What's up? Oh, you're frozen.
Did I just glitch out on you?
Just for a second. I mean, your face is still glitched in a very funny thing, but either way, I can still hear you. Are you there? Cool. All right. Well, until Dylan comes back, I'm not really sure what he's up to. What I would normally do here is kind of throw some weird media things at him and see that if he has heard about them or whatever else. So are you still there or no? Cool. All right. Well, one of the first things that I was going to ask you about. Oh, there you are. Hey.
Okay.
You're back. Good. All right. Well, special guest.
What a great second episode.
Oh, it's okay. We're doing okay. I was just letting people know that in this part of the segment, what I'll do is throw weird news that I've learned in the media at you and see if you've heard about it in a segment that I'm probably going to change, but I'm calling it Quick Question. So, Dylan, quick question. Okay. I know that you know that the Spider-Man 3 is getting a lot of casting and a lot of weird things are going on. There's recent news that they won't release the trailer for this movie until Tobey Maguire signs a contract. Now, my question is, quick question. There's rumors that Leonardo DiCaprio are going to show up in Doctor Strange 2 as another version of Spider-Man. Would you say that's ultimate fan casting?
DiCaprio as Spider-Man?
Yeah, apparently he's in talks. He was originally the first one that was fan casted to be a Spider-Man, like long ago, way before Tobey Maguire. And yeah, apparently there's talks that he's going to be, donning the suit, as people say.
DiCaprio seems like an interesting choice. I'm having trouble visioning it.
I mean, he's an A-lister, and I think now an A-lister's job is to try to get into the MCU or try to hop onto a franchise. That way they can just pop into a Comic-Con anytime and make some money.
I guess. I don't know. Make DiCaprio. Who's the alien that holds Thor's hammer? Beta Ray Bill.
Oh, Beta Ray
Bill. We haven't gotten him yet.
That's
true.
Give
an A-lister Beta Ray.
Yeah. All right, so next one, Black Panther. So as we know, obviously Chadwick Boseman has passed away, and he was an amazing actor. I just watched the Ma Bell movie that he put on Netflix. But my question is, they have to make a Black Panther 2. And there's talks that either Shuri or recently out there that M'Baku is going to be cast. So quick question. Who's a better Black Panther, and how do you do this movie?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I don't want to say that you don't, because that feels, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that one. I think have Shuri take the mantle.
Yeah.
I think. Let's see. Who's
Now,
the
if you
actor
think
who
about
plays her? It's
Letitia Wright.
Letitia Wright. Yeah, have her
yeah.
play it.
Now, here's the thing. Now, if you think about it, as far as a Batman goes, we've had many, many characters, many, many actors being Batman. Why can't we have another Chadwick or have another Black Panther cast?
It feels too soon to recast after the death of an actor who really kind of embodied the character for the first time.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
We didn't recast the Crow after Brandon Lee. Yeah.
Well, we did. There's 4 Crow movies.
Oh, did we? Oh, I am ignorant of the Crow franchise.
That's okay. As a matter of fact, what's his name? Aquaman was cast for a couple years as the Crow, and then that movie fell apart. So,
Oh,
Jason
I remember
Momoa.
hearing about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on into MCU's, She-Hulk was announced that's coming out. They're going to do, obviously the Hulk is going to be in that and somebody else. Now, that's going to be a comedic Law and Order style show starring She-Hulk. How do you feel?
Comedy?
Yeah, I think it's going to be just like a courtroom comedy. Now, do you think that's a smart way to go from the MCU? Now, we know we're going to get a horror / dimensional whatever in WandaVision and an action, cyber, or I guess like an action kind of like a heisty thing with Falcon and Winter Soldier. So, comedy, what do you think?
I wonder if She-Hulk is the proper vehicle for comedy. I haven't read a whole lot of She-Hulk comics, but I remember the comics she appeared in. She always seemed to be very, taken seriously, professional woman. Comedy seems like an interesting direction to go with her.
Yeah, I think it works though. I mean, a lot of her comic is her in a courtroom, just kind of sticking it to the man on a ground level, while also just being the Hulk. So I think that's a cool concept. If you're super strong, but you don't use it.
Yeah.
All right, DC World. So we have Wonder Woman is coming out in 2 days. Wonder Woman 1984. Now I know that DC likes to do a lot of fan service by recasting the same actors and things. And I don't know if you know this, but Pedro Pascal was in another DC property. Do you know what this is?
Was it one of the TV shows?
It was a TV show.
I don't know then.
It was in Wonder Woman. Pedro Pascal was already in a Wonder Woman franchise property in 2011 when they were trying to do an offshoot series. It never aired, but you can actually see part of it if you look it up. But yeah, it's weird that people don't really talk about that. All right, moving on. Justice League. Zack Snyder's Justice League is coming out soon for HBO Max and whatever.
I guess so.
Now, my question is, because they're going to format this in a series, like a mini-series format with 4 episodes, do you think that this is going to start a really good, gritty DC series, like offshoot kind of thing?
No.
Okay, perfect.
I think they're doing this because I think there was fan outcry, and I think with Warner Brothers trying to make HBO Max a legitimate theatrical outlet, they were taking whatever they had available and putting new content onto it. They happen to have the framework and a few pieces for the Snyder Cut to put on there. I don't necessarily think that it's going to be much better than the theatrical cut, and I don't think it's going to do a whole lot to bring much of a change to DC.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, but I am very excited for it, and I'll
watch it.
I'll back the Snyder Cut. I like the movie that we should have got. So,
sure.
Okay, so that's enough banter for some stupid reasons. I think enough people have either shown up or left already that we can get on with the rest of our show. And in this and in this portion of the show, what we do is we kind of do what we do on Talking UpStream, which is we come up with a weird idea and then we try to make it into a pitchable, producible, sellable something, some kind of idea.
Because I'm desperate to get out of a job where I have to wear a name tag.
Yeah. Heard that.
No.
Okay, so now normally I would ask Dylan to read a random text that I sent him as a weird idea. So I guess Dylan, go ahead. Do you have something?
I have something I sent to you actually.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, this was a little bit of a reversal of the standard because for those who haven't heard us talk about it yet, Zach generally sends me a text at about 3:50. Anytime between 3:50 in the morning through about 6, I'll get at least one text from Zach, which is a whole bunch. P.S. Good morning. And usually one of those is some idea that he came up with over the course of some amount of time. I had managed to hit him with a few this week, and I'm going to read one of them I sent him because I think this will be a fun one. Let me find it. Okay. This is inspired, for those of you who don't know, there's a tabletop role-playing game called Fiasco in which people generate a House of Cards style story and then knock it down, and it goes disastrously wrong. So, an old lady's mad scientist husband dies before he finishes his reanimator machine. She completes it and brings him back so they can watch Matlock and do old people stuff. The HOA guy keeps trying to bust her, but in the end, technically, there's no rule in the HOA terms against necromancy.
Yeah,
that's what I got.
No, I like that. Okay, so we're gonna have so obviously the important parts now we have the HOA, right? We have the necromancy, and then I guess like the wife, right?
Yeah, I figured we have kind of a triangle setup for characters. You have the widow. She's in her like early 70s, late 60s. She's getting, she's a little older. We have whoever worked for the HOA and is trying to bust people who break their terms. And we have probably a nosy neighbor who keeps trying to bust her as well. Maybe they feed a tip to the HOA or something like that. And in my mind, the neighbor winds up getting busted for their various minor transgressions while the widow gets off scot-free.
Perfect. All right, cool. And once again, if you're watching this anywhere, if you're watching this live, feel free to comment on whatever you're watching, whether it's Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, my cell phone, for whatever reason, I just can't find it. Feel free to comment. Feel free to throw some ideas out there and see where this goes.
Please do. Okay. We read all of them, and your attention is the reason we're doing this.
Yeah, that's
true. In my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing this for somewhat Dylan's attention, but mostly for your attention. So feel free to yell at me. It makes me work better. If you've ever been a teacher of mine out there, you know that yelling at me or giving me very stern looks is what makes me think better. Now, did you see this as a movie? Did you see this as, I know that you were playing a game when you made this, but now that you see it in your brain as a story, what kind of story did you see?
It's probably a movie, or at least like an hour-long like TV episode, or like a YouTube, one of those hour-long, not quite feature films, like a TV movie maybe, like an episode of an hour-long TV show.
All right, I love that. Now, in this part of our show, because Dylan is a very accomplished and degree-holding novelist, we're gonna. No, sure, of course it's true. We kind of go back to his writing things, the things that he kind of falls back on to kind of guide us and what kind of storytelling techniques we're going to do. So, Dylan, thinking that this is going to be an hour-long something, what kind of storytelling techniques do you want to implore?
Well, let's see. I don't like, as far as this goes, this is goofy. This is probably tongue-in-cheek. This is mildly farcical. So it doesn't need to be complex on the storytelling aspect. 1 or 2 acts. I'm not seeing this dip into horror, though there's obviously the potential for that. So I say 2 or 3 acts. Yeah,
2 or 3 acts? Cool. All right, so let's just I like this 3-act thing, and it helps me kind of keep the storyline going. So we got a 3-act structure going on here. Now, how do you think the story should start? Now, obviously, we know that we have a widow. Now, do we see this couple as a couple, or do we see them, or do we meet her after the passing?
I think we meet her at just after the funeral, and we show that when she gets home, like. Or we do like the Up thing where we have a short little montage of them together and then he gets sick, or, he always ducks up into the attic to work on his invention. And then there's a funeral, and then we see her come back, and it's very clear that there's a space missing something in her life when he's gone.
Okay, so there's a little stretch of time where she is alone. Now, how does the body come back to life? Like, is she a scientist? Is this like something that is a product that already exists? Is this magical forces?
I think that her husband is a mad scientist and all that entails.
Oh,
Straight
okay.
up.
The husband's a scientist.
Yeah, maybe their house has a whole bunch of weather vanes on it, or like lightning rods or something like that.
And how does he come back to life? Does she hook him up into this?
Yeah.
Was she like the assistant or something, or
maybe they were inventing it together. They're inventing it together, and then he dies, and she's like, "Aha! Look, you always wanted a perfect test subject or something like that."
do you want to give the invention a backstory? Like, why were they trying to invent this? Was it because they were trying to resurrect like a child?
I honestly don't know if it's important in the span of things. Like, only because.
So what you're saying is, in this story, there's going to be a funeral. She's going to come over to a funeral. She's going to be lonely for a little bit of time, and then she's going to say, "Oh, that's right. We do have that reanimation gear in the basement."
Attic. I assumed attic. If you need lightning, then it's up in the attic.
I think location wasn't the point of my question. My question was, do we have to give them a reason to have this device?
Oh.
Like, what if they had like a body of like a celebrity, and they were working on trying to get that celebrity back to life? Or what if they had like I feel like there needs to be some bit of a backstory when it comes to why they have a device that can bring someone back to life, or not, which I guess is fine too.
I don't have a backstory in mind.
Cool.
It was just literally like, you know what? I have the means. Why not? Let's screw with the natural order.
No, I'm cool with that. All right, so she just remembers that there is a reanimation device in her attic that is hooked up to something that can get lightning. And I guess there's a news report that there's an incoming storm, and lightning is what makes her remember. So she drags her husband up to the attic.
Yeah,
right?
why not?
Okay.
She exhumes him. I don't know. We don't know if they need to go that far.
Well, I mean, if it's if it's at a funeral, then he's somewhere, and he's probably at the ground. So we need to. All right, let's slow down a little bit.
Okay.
What do you think the first mini arc would be? It's him coming back to life, right?
I think it's him coming back to life and the neighbor realizing it.
And the neighbor sees. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I guess we just got to get there to him come back to life, which is just we need the graveyard digging scene, right?
Yeah. Maybe there's a gang of kids who used to shovel their sidewalk, and she recruits them to dig up a body.
Oh, I like that.
Why not? Let's go all out.
Dude, sidewalk kids, like those kids that shovel stuff, those are grimy kids, and they would love to dig up a grave.
You can keep some of the dirt. Who knows what grave dirt can come in handy?
Okay, now does the neighbor see the widow dragging like the body into the house? Right? Is that what starts it all?
Probably.
All right, cool. And then
see something suspicious going on at least. That gets him to snoop.
Yeah, and then so once that happens. Then she just brings him and puts him into that little chair device, whatever, and it obviously works right away. He comes back to life.
Doesn't not waste any time. But I figure he comes back Frankenstein style, where he's not fully cognizant and he's a little lurchy.
Does that go away, or is that how he always is?
I figure that's how he is, and I think that she probably justifies it by going like, well, he never was much of a talker, so.
Cool. What is the inciting incident that the neighbor will see? What does the neighbor witness that makes him think like, oh my God, there's a Frankenstein's monster up there?
I figure either he sees something unusual. He's mowing grass and sees something weird getting unloaded from like the back of a car or a truck or something, a shrouded figure, and then he sees her. Maybe they go on like a neighborhood walk when he's reanimated, and he's dressed. I see him in like a big obscuring trench coat with the collar up and one of those big hats, and he's like, and he gets suspicious, and she's just has her arm like in his arm. She's happy.
Yeah. Now here's a question that might be funny. Does she put like a fake beard on him and pass him off as a different person? Because like if people know, if people know her, especially a neighbor, they're going to know that her husband has passed. So now I think it's funny that she's trying to pass him off as like just a new guy. Like, and people are like, "Oh, so you met a."
That was very fast.
Yeah, she goes, "What's it to you?"
Either that, or we accelerate the beginning to where he like dies in the house, and she's like sitting there looking at him, and then she like looks up. But I like how we're doing it right now with like the neighbor kids in particular digging him up. That's fun. Yeah,
I think if we're going to try to keep. Go ahead.
No, that's it.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we want to try to keep this very goofy and very very comedic, having her put different disguises on him, like if his name is say John and now he goes by Jack, or one of those weird names like is a short version of something, if he's Christopher now he goes by Toph or something. All right, so the neighbor sees the now reanimated and possibly new partner of the widow, and he's just doing chores. He's like the monster, the reanimated monster's like just doing housework like the husband normally would.
He's mowing the yard or something, or he's trimming the hedges, and his arms are he doesn't have joints, or he's got rigor mortis, so he can't bend anything.
Now, is this really goofy where, like, say he's up on a ladder to get, like, the leaves out, and he takes his own arm off to reach more leaves?
Maybe not that goofy.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm just
not that goofy. No, it's good to establish a ceiling for the gags.
Right. So now we got to watch the neighbor tell the HOA at some point. Like, we need the neighbor. Now, if I had to ask you what actor you see as the neighbor, just so that I get a visual, which actor do you see?
What actor am I seeing?
Yeah.
Let's see. It needs to be someone who's a little, not mousy, but like someone kind of, not Brad Dourif.
What?
Someone like Brad Dourif with softer edges. I don't know who that would be.
I don't even know who that is.
He was Wormtongue. He was.
Oh, okay. So what about like Andy Serkis?
Either Andy Serkis or I was thinking.
John C. Reilly. No, I love it. No, I like John C.
Reilly would be good.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, so let's see John C. Reilly.
All right, so the neighbor's John C. Reilly, which makes a lot of sense because he could be anything. Funny and creepy. All right, cool. So John C. Reilly now is going to go tell the HOA that he thinks there's a dead person living next door to him.
I have a scene. Oh, hi, Aaron. Nice to see you. I'm seeing a scene where he gets it confirmed, where he like calls the kids over. He's like, "Hey, kids, come here. She had you do a chore for her, right?" And they go, "Yeah, well, what's in it for us?" And then he like bribes them with a pack of cigarettes or something. And they're like, "Yeah, the old woman had us dig up her husband." and that confirms it for her. I figure the kids immediately turn on her because he's offering them like, I don't know, something illicit.
No, I like that. So the neighbor's going to go around. He's going to start interrogating the kids of the neighborhood. I think that's a funny scene. Like John C. Reilly going up to a bunch of kids, like, "Tell me what you know about
Stranger Things kids."
Yep, it's like, "Tell me what you know about this dead person." So real quick, just because I got a lot of open space over here.
Sure.
Do you have an idea for a name for this yet?
No, not yet.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. There's something brewing, I'm sure.
I mean, obviously necromancy sounds dumb, but it does kind of fit because it's like romantic. How about necromantic? No, okay.
Necromantic? We'll shelve that. There's something there, maybe.
I think if you were to tell somebody just that title, they would think that's a bad thing. So, we're not going to say that one just yet.
Nah.
Okay, so now the next arc that we're going to have, now that the neighbor is, he knows that this monster is alive and living next to him. What is the next third of this movie or show? So he has to tell the HOA. What is like the big crux of here? Is it the HOA investigating?
No, I think what happens after the initial resurrection and we see that her return to like semi-normalcy, we see him dealing with his own HOA issues where like his garbage cans are too close to the sidewalk or something. And they are really going at him for it.
The neighbor?
No, they're going at the HOA is going at the neighbor, at John C. Reilly, for some super minor violation. Maybe his hedges are too long.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So the HOA is so they're just coming to John C. Reilly's place, and they're like, "Hey, you gotta cut your grass to this length." And because like this monster is doing all the right stuff, he never gets bothered. And John C. Reilly's like, "Why are you on me constantly? There's a dead person next door."
Yeah,
and they're like, "Look,
her dead husband is walking around. Go talk to her about it." And they're like, we haven't. This is the first we've heard of it. We will look into it. Until then, you need to ensure that your grass is." And then they pull out like a ruler or something.
They're like, "Yeah, he's walking around. He's walking around with the right size lawnmower. That's what it is." Yeah. Okay, so all right, so monster. Now the monster is doing all the regular chores, and because he's a good person in the HOA anyway, he's just doing his normal stuff. That's funny. Yeah. And the HOA is constantly busting him. So now this. Okay, I'm liking where this story is going. Where the neighbor now is just trying to bust the dead person next door, right? That's all it is. Okay, cool. So the arc would be is this the part? Okay, so I'm guessing obviously I've watched a lot of movies, and I'm assuming that this part of the movie is where John C. Reilly breaks into the monster's house to get proof or something. Is that what has to happen next?
Either that, or it's the HOA meeting where he like pulls the hat off. Or something like that. Like he accuses them in public of being a reanimated at the HOA meeting.
Oh,
and
cool.
Then after that, and then the last like action-y act or something is him taking it into his own hands.
All right, and then at the HOA meeting, when the neighbor is trying to reveal the dead person, then everyone kind of hops on the neighbor's back, like, "Leave the guy alone. He can't grow a beard. No big deal. If he wants to wear a fake beard, let him wear a fake beard."
He died last week. Hasn't he gone through enough? You don't have to take his hat off. He's obviously concerned about his skin or something like that.
I just thought they thought it was just a different person. Like, is this a? Are they still? Is she still passing him off as a different person?
Oh, or at that point, yes. Maybe they like reveal it off and they're like, "Doug, I thought you were dead," and he goes, "Ah," and they're like, "Well, you look fine. Regardless, we're glad to have you back." Now, John, this is unacceptable, or something.
Yeah.
You know, they just completely wipe it under the rug.
Yeah, it's like, "You can let a dead man live here," and they go, "Look, he pays his dues and he keeps his grass short. That's good enough for us." All right, so the HOA meeting, which is where the unsuccessful reveal happens. What would you say is the ending of the whole thing?
I like the idea.
Now, is
that's a tough one.
Now, is it the kind of thing where the neighbor and let's start naming these people real fast. So we have the widow. What's the widow's name?
I keep wanting to call her Granny, but she does. I imagine she doesn't have any kids.
Wait, everyone calls her Granny?
Like, no, maybe she's like the neighborhood Granny.
Okay.
Maybe. Is Ethel too obvious? Hey, chat. Hey, people in chat, give us some people names.
Yeah, give us just some human names. We're going to need some human names.
Anyway.
All right, so we're going to say Ethel for right now. That is a weird name, but
yeah. Really? All right.
You know what, Ethel? Come on, man. You do not.
No, probably not. I don't think so. I might have had like a great aunt named Ethel.
Hey, if there's any Ethels in the chat, hit us up real fast.
Yeah.
Okay, so the widow's name's Ethel. What is the husband's name? Gertrude.
Oh, Gertrude. Yeah, sure. Why not? Gertie. Granny Gertie.
Yeah, Gertie. Okay, so husband's name. Who?
Let's see.
It can be just like a dumb name, but maybe a name where like you can use it like where it's like there's a short version that isn't the same as the long version.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you like a Jack John thing, or do you like a Ike for Dwight?
J.G. Willikers.
Cool. And then he goes by John.
Why not?
All right.
He went by his middle name when he was alive, which is like Grisham or something.
Grisham.
Jonathan Grisham Willikers.
Oh, cool. Yeah, no relation.
No, it's
Jonathan Grisham. Oh, cool. Okay, so now John and Ethel, they whatever. Now the neighbor's name. We're not going to go John, right? What's a good neighbor's name?
No. Randall? Is that snitchy enough?
Yep, that's perfect. Okay, so we got a Randall. Now Randall's an next door neighbor. So at the meeting,
Yeah.
wait. So should the ending now be that Randall and JG are friends and they're going off on like a buddy trip movie? They go fishing together. Like they go fishing together, and
do we want Randall to be what's the word for like not saved, but like do you want redeemed? Do we want him to wind up being like someone that we sympathize with, or do we want him to end it with him just the HOA still dogs them?
Well, I think that it would be very funny if what Randall's ultimate goal is not to have the dead person go away. They just want the HOA to find them for something. So I think it'd be funny if, like, at the end, the HOA is like, "Fine, we'll find them for something," and he's like, "There, that's all I wanted. That's it."
The curtains are too short. Fine, how's that, Randall? And he goes,
"Yeah,
lay to rest."
I think maybe. What if we put?
This is not a court.
Yeah. Well, you're out of order. What if we put like an underlying plot thread that he wants the HOA to bust Gertie and JG's house because their grass is too short, and he doesn't like that because he gets busted for grass being too long all the time.
What if the construction of the reanimator made a lot of noise and it just annoyed him? And he goes, they were being really loud, doing something. There were mechanical noises coming from their place all hours of the night. They put up those new lightning rods, and those are not up to code.
Yeah, and now that now that JG's back, they're like up at night just dancing, and they're like just making noise again. And go, they're playing music till like 10:30 p.m. or something.
Yeah.
Hey. Psychedelic Podcast here.
What up?
You guys want to give us any ideas on this weird necromancy?
Considering we have people involved, do you want to give people a rundown of what we're doing?
Oh, sure. Okay, so if you're tuning in right now or have been for a while, what this is Twitching UpStream, which is an offshoot of Talking UpStream, which is our show every Sunday. And in that show, Some Nobodies, you can go to our website right up here, which is me and Dylan for the most part, and a bunch of people that talk. What we do is we try to come up with stories to sell, really, to come up with content. Some things you can do to check out the weird stuff that we do. You can always go to somenobodies.com. You can see our website at the bottom. You can go to patreon.com/somenobodies and help us make some weird stuff. You're a necromancer? Cool. All right. Well, I mean, that's the name of the show then, Necromancer. And yeah, if you want to help out, some people that do help us out already is Scott Curtis from Behind the Bits. If you like podcasts, you like comedy at all, go to Behind the Bits podcast. You got Tanya Sheck, you got Sarah Takachik, some other friends. You have listenerapp.com, the greatest podcast app there is. Those people do help us out. And what we're doing here is creating a quick little story. If you watch our show, it's a 90-minute show. What we're trying to do is like a smaller version of that show. And in that show, what we're doing here, Dylan came up with a very cool idea about a woman who brings her husband back to life, and the neighbor is upset because the HOA should know about it, really, and I guess fine them for having a dead person. So Necromancer is cool. Necromantic.
Necromantic comedy.
Necromonic comedy. If anybody has a weird good name for this so far, please let us know.
Probably.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, he just passed away about a week ago, so yeah, he still has a secret.
The good thing about the U.S. law is that there's very little about it concerning returning from the dead. So should we jump back in? Flesh some of this out.
Yep, we only got a little bit of time left. What we're trying to do is really just create this weird 3-arc storyline of about a 1-hour show of a dead guy, really. And that's Necroman. The Necroman. Okay, so in the HOA meeting where the reveal, let's get back to where we were before we started pitching some stuff. How does this thing end? What do you think is going to happen here? I think Randall does need a bit of a...
No, I like the idea that Gertrude does get fined for making too much noise. They're just like, fine, $15 due for the excessive noise after 10 p.m. Are you happy now, Randall? And he goes, also, I want I want the restrictions on grass length to be lifted.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we're not going to do that. It's still going to be $15 a week, Randall, unless you trim that grass.
Fine, make it a $30 fine. You got it. No, it's $15. That's it. Got it. Okay, cool.
We have standards, Randall. And then I don't know if Randall should really lose it and like try and break in and destroy it or like something like that, but maybe that's a bit much. But
wait, Randall goes in and breaks the machine.
Yeah, he breaks the reanimator, and it doesn't unanimate him.
No, I don't see. I guess there's really no point in that.
Yeah.
That's the only comment you're going to put up there for some reason, Dylan. Good job.
That's it. Don't worry about it.
Okay, so we got this weird story. I like this third of the movie. I think this is gonna be really funny. So after the HOA meeting where they try to reveal where the reveal happens, but not successfully.
Yeah.
What is this little chunk of time here?
That little chunk of time, I don't know if. I think at the HOA meeting, maybe they shouldn't necessarily reveal that he's undead, but be like, he didn't die, he was just sick, and he came out to the meeting, and then that last third is Randall trying to prove that J.G. Willikers was indeed brought back from the dead.
Now, do we have that scene that probably happens in most movies where Randall is maybe looking outside, like out one window to try to catch JG, the dead guy, do something, and what he sees is JG like mowing Randall's grass, and he's like, maybe this dead guy isn't so bad after all.
I think the first half of the third act is him trying to bust him, and then eventually he warms up to him. Yeah.
Cool. No, I like that. And then, well, maybe there's like, I feel there's a reason that Randall, his grass is too long. Maybe something his, do they know something is off about him? No, he's like he's a straight up reanimated monster. He is zombified. Like a Frankenstein, I guess.
He wears like a trench coat and a wide brimmed hat when they're outside. And for the most part, people are like, oh, it's very nice to see Gertrude moving on so quickly after her husband's death. And then eventually it's revealed, oh, he was just ill. Oh, I feel so bad. We assumed that you were dead. And then, of course, the reality is that he was dead.
Yeah, but because they're all kind of on the elderly side, people are like, wow, he's got a lot of energy. Look at that. Like, look at his posture. He's got good posture. Randall is Chris Hansen's brother.
Different story, but we'll file that one away for later.
I like that. Yeah. Put that down there.
I think the third act is him trying to bust him and then eventually coming around to it and becoming friends with him. And maybe at the very end it wears off. The reanimator wears off. Maybe at the very end.
Oh, well, that's sad.
Maybe.
Why?
It is sad. I don't know if we want to go. I don't know if we want to go sad or not.
Does Randall talk? Does he?
I assumed it was words? He just. He has a very bad case of laryngitis.
So pretty much this whole movie revolves around the fact that Randall just wants a friend. Is that what it is?
I think we could turn that into it.
Yeah. So Randall just wants a friend. His lawnmower's broken. The sidewalk kids that shovel the sidewalk won't always cut his grass. He doesn't want to buy a new lawnmower. So that's why that one weird scene over here where JG maybe fixes his lawnmower might be that heartwarming, or like it just mows his grass for him, or
jumps his car or something
with himself.
With himself.
Like hooks the bolts up.
Hooks him to the bolts in his neck.
He's got a chipped larynx. Yeah, sure.
Chipped larynx. All right.
Yeah.
You could chip a larynx.
Yeah.
I thought your larynx.
You can chip it. I mean,
okay.
You probably.
I'm not arguing.
It sounds like you're arguing.
I suppose.
Yeah.
The kids could become their friends. The kids dug him up in the first place. He probably recognizes them.
No, I think everyone is cool. Everyone's cool with JG. Everyone's cool with the monster. Yeah. No one has a problem with it. It's Randall just kind of throwing a stink.
Yeah, Randall is shocked that people don't have a bigger problem with the necromancy.
And honestly, he doesn't have a problem with it, really, honestly, either. He just has a problem with people not having a problem with it.
He thinks that they're being favored because they've lived there longer.
Yeah, I like this. So is there a way that we could throw HOA into the title that can work with like a dead body? How about
That's a good question.
yeah, I don't know. I'm usually pretty good at throwing out very stupid names for movies, at least even bad ones, and I can't get anything off this.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the middle scene, what we're going to do is we're going to have Randall interrogating the kids at first. We're going to have Randall trying to take pictures of the dead guy doing something, and it's like, look at this dead guy, and they go, yeah, he's mowing his grass, and they look at a picture of and they go, well, look at this picture of this dead guy, and it's like, yeah, he's cleaning the gutter.
Missouri is actually a two-party consent state, so if you're going to record him, you need to ask him if that's okay with him. Or something like he gets chastised every single step of the way by everybody else.
Yeah. The Crust Corpse Catastrophe.
That sounds like a band name.
I'm not even sure if I could say that a couple times. The Crust Corpse Catastrophe. The CCC. I mean, I'll throw it up there. It's not...
Yeah.
It's literally better than anything.
Yeah, you know me.
It's literally better than everything I've come up with.
Yeah.
So
we'll file that one around.
Okay. And so now we know that at the end they're going to kind of make up. They're going to get a fine for having their grass too short or curtains too short or something stupid, which solves Randall's issue. And then maybe Randall's like, big guy, I never had a problem with you. I just wanted to make sure that things were fair. And then JG's like, ugh. He's like, maybe we should I don't know, get a beer or something sometime. Ugh. It's like, oh, sure. I mean, if you want, we can go right now. Ugh. Okay. I mean, I guess we could definitely do that, or we can go fishing or whatever it is. And then he's like, fine, let's just go fishing. And then they just go off together fishing. All right, cool. I mean, go ahead.
What if it's named after the street that it takes place on? I
like that.
Dead End Drive or something like that.
How about
you know what I mean?
Yeah. They live on Dead End Drive? JG spews
maybe?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, that's nasty, but yeah. Oh, what? You're putting the weirdest ones up there, man.
Yeah, we're getting weird comments. This is a weird story.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so we need a name of a street that is not Dead End Drive, which is Dead Man's Drive.
Dead Man's Drive?
Dead Man's Drive. Dead Man's Lane. What are you thinking? Williker Way. No, you don't like that. That's
not really.
Okay, that's cool. What do you got?
No. I said Dead End Drive.
Dead Man's Circle.
Dead Man's Circle.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Dead Man's Circle. That sounds great. All right.
Every year they have a symbolic motion to change the name of the street, and it never passes.
Yeah, it's like, why is this so called Dead Man's the Circle of Life? That's weird. They live on Life Circle. That's not bad.
All.
Okay, so what we did here was we created a very weird, about a 1 hour show, maybe like a mini movie, probably Hallmark if Hallmark did Halloween stuff or scary stuff. Because I can see this being kind of
sci-fi original.
Yeah, this could be like a television show. This could be something that airs on TV. And in this, actually, Dylan, because this is what you do normally on Talk Upstream, do you want to run us through the story real fast?
Yeah, sure. So we start off with a short little montage style of Up, where we see Gertie Willikers and her husband, J.G. Willikers, and they are living life together. It's great. They're having a great time. They are putting something together in the attic. Mechanical.
I think
they seem to be engineers or something. Yeah, and then JG dies early. Things go sad. They get monochrome, as they do, and we see a funeral. Then we see Gertrude go home, and she is very clearly trying to fill a void that he has left now that he's dead. She gets an idea. She gets the neighborhood kids, who are the kids on bikes. There are probably about 4 of them. And then She's like, hey, I have a project for you. They go out. We see from the oh god, now that's stuck in my head. What an effective jingle. Anyway, they come back from the point of view of the neighbor, Randall. We see them unload a shrouded figure from a car into Gertie's house on the day of a big lightning storm. Something crazy is going on. He gets like a phone call immediately from the HOA. We learn that he's dealing with his own issues about how tall his grass is or something like that. We cut to Gertie. She is hooking up JG's body to the reanimator. Lightning strikes the lightning rods, and he reanimates. She is thrilled. He is nonverbal because he's effectively a zombie. But he's able to like shuffle around. They dance a little bit. They watch some Matlock or Jag or MASH, one of those shows.
Jag.
Yeah. He had the sucker, didn't he? That was his thing, wasn't it?
No, that was Kodak.
That was Kodak.
Kojak.
Kojak.
Yeah. No, Jag was the airplane trial show.
That's it. It's like Wings, but not.
Wings, but serious and in court.
Yes. And then she's out and about town with him. Parts of him are probably falling off. It doesn't preserve him. It just brings him back to life.
Real quick, she just said doo-doo. It's right there.
Come on. This is a show for serious adults.
Oh,
Randall is watching this. People about town are watching them, and they're all just very thrilled that Gertrude has moved on so quick. JG's illness struck very fast and very hard, so they're glad that she is taking her golden years to really experience life. Randall is convinced that she lied, and maybe he's convinced that she has like done it to reduce dues or something like that, because now there's only one person in the house. Finds out that he is dead and is trying to bust him for it. Eventually, they go to an HOA meeting, and they have that whole like, I am telling you, Gertrude Willikers reanimated her husband. He's a zombie, pulls off the hat. His skin is gray and kind of rotting. He doesn't look great. Everybody takes offense at that because, of course, you don't take a man's hat when he's in public. He's probably wearing that hat for a reason, right, Zach?
Oh, yeah. Why
Even
would
if
you
just
wear
like
a
hat?
the hat? Love a good hat.
So then they give Randall a hard time about his own gutters or something like that. And then he gets fined. And technically, due to the Airbud corollary, there are no rules saying you can't resurrect your husband. He's not wrong.
No.
She's secretly a witch. It was never an accident. Partially. Maybe I think we'll spin that off into something else. We'll do like a weird suburb story.
No,
like
I do think it's very funny that they have been working together on this, and that it just happened. Like I think there's something very comedic about. Oh, that's right. I have that reanimation machine up in the attic, and it's like, why did I think about using it?
We've been working on that together for years. It's just about time to test it. And so Randall spends a good portion of time trying to bust them for having some sort of illegal machinery hooked up to the grid. It's very loud. And then, of course, there's the moment where he gets a jump start to his car thanks to JG, and the two of them become close friends. And, they become good neighbors again. And the story ends on a happy note.
I like that a lot.
I don't think I missed anything. Yeah, very heartwarming story about necromancy and necromancy in the neighborhood.
Neighborhood necromancy. Yeah. The Necromancer, Bolt of the Antichrist as a title. I don't think that encompasses everything, but I tried. Bolt of the Antichrist. That sounds like a weird band name.
It's going to be my black metal album.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah, it's going to be my black metal album title.
Yeah.
I think we got it. I
think we did a very good job here. We made a very goofy comedy. Dylan had a very cool text message about a dead woman with an HOA issue, which obviously, like, HOA issues do not get enough light of day. Those are serious things, and I think they should be put into comedic value. But anyway,
I'm glad we've established a very solid opinion on this matter.
Okay, this is not bad though.
Mr. Crowley's neighborhood.
Mr. Williker's neighborhood. Okay, folks, we have been Some Nobodies. I am Zach. That guy over there is Dylan Terry. You can find him on social media at Vorpal Words. You can find me usually everywhere at Nobody, but most likely go to Some Nobodies. SomeNobodies.com, Patreon.com, Some Nobodies. Hit us up, help us out. We're trying to create some weird stuff. Contact us. Let us know what we can do. You can find us on IBM TV on Sundays with our show Talking Upstream. You can find us on Twitch here, usually Tuesdays or Thursdays, depending on what my schedule is. You can find me talking about weird things on Thursdays with the trumpets here. We have, what else? We had a bunch of things going on.
We have stuff going on. The pandemic threw off our schedule, so we're figuring stuff out. We're putting stuff out there.
That's true. If you go to our website, you'll just see the stuff that we're constantly working on. But until then, guys, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Very much.
Yeah. And that's it.
Yeah.
Bye.
Take it easy out there.